What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the More Than Philly Sports Network. It has been about a week since we've been on. We are so excited to be here. We have a phenomenal show for you all today. Bringing the energy, bringing everything. I know Gavin has brought quite the arguments for a couple of our discussions today. Of course, as always, I'll bring them in. Gavin, Tony, we've got the 76ers apparel on. That's because with a win tonight, and I did the math to make sure that all the ESPN analysis were right out there, not to undermine them. I'm sorry. One game, one win, or one loss by Brooklyn. And the 76ers are not the 2 seed, not the 3 seed, and sure as hell not the 6 seed they were last year. They are the 1 seed. Number 1, and they only will have to play one of either Brooklyn or Milwaukee, assuming one of them makes it to the conference final in order to go. Gavin, I'm excited. The Sixers team is on a roll right now. Ben Simmons not putting up the points he needs to, but hey, everything else has been doing phenomenal. And the Phillies have been doing really well.
Don't start
games
that.
have been bad. We're going to talk about that. But they were on a 5-game winning streak before that happened. The Flyers season is officially over. They finished 2 games above 500 with 8 overtime losses. We'll talk about that briefly too. And before all of that, I have a rarity. And Gavin, you'll probably be very shocked about this, but I will give credit where credit is due. The man himself, Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook.
Where's his respect?
Not the biggest fan of Russell Westbrook. However,
breaking news tab, Zach, where is it? I need that. Breaking news. Zach likes Russell Westbrook for something.
I will give Russell Westbrook immense respect here. He is one of those guys that when I went off my almost maybes rant a while back about how guys come up short. However, to average a triple-double in your career, to average it in a season, to get it in a game, and most importantly, at 182, and I guess I looked at the number. I went through the effort to do that. I promise I'm trying. As the number 1 leader in triple-doubles, Russell Westbrook, congratulations. His career has been interesting. Does he deserve a ring? That's a debate we can have for a different day. But there's no denying that he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. No denying he's a hell of a basketball player. Unfortunately, just a ring short of a great legacy. But, yes, not a big fan, but today, congratulations. Give him a lot of respect for what he does on the court.
Well, Zach, when he broke that record, that's the first thing I did was I sent that to you because I knew how much Russell Westbrook infuriates you. For those who may not know, Russell Westbrook is in my top 5 favorite point guards in the game right now. And Zach, I'm gonna go on the limb and say he's top 5 all-time greatest point guards that ever played this game. And he's number 5 or maybe even number 4. And I had Magic Johnson at 1, and Isaiah Thomas at 2. Steph Curry at 3 because he changed the game, and then Russ at 4 because of what the hell we just saw in the past 3 to 4 years, and then CP3 because of his leadership, and that list could be
put him above CP3
because once again, CP3 is a great leader. Zach, we can talk about this another day, but I'm telling you, Russell Westbrook is one of those guys. He's a dog, Zach. He's a little bit. You look at him like overrated and then underrated. Zach, he sits in the middle. You heard Bradley Beal on First Take this morning. He says, this guy plays through any injury and puts us in the best spot to win games. Almost you could take that as a shot at John Wall. Zach, today we're celebrating Russell Westbrook. And you're right, Zach, a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And I would love to get into an argument about a ring because I have a strong take about a ring when it comes to Russell Westbrook. He's a champion of life. I don't disagree with that. When you make it from where you come from, you are a champion of life. But how far does that personal ring get you? We can talk about it another day.
It does hurt because he was there. He was in the NBA Finals, led a team, very talented team.
A young team.
Ran into Miami, unfortunately, had a lot of opportunities, just similar to James Harden's story. Ran into a lot of teams. The question is, would you rather take Russell Westbrook with no ring or Kevin Durant's rings? And that's a question we can have for a different day. That's definitely a conversation to have. But today is not a day to debate Russell Westbrook's place in history. I don't agree he's a top 5 point guard, but I'm not going to use today to do that. I'm going to give him credit today, give him props. Congratulations to Russell Westbrook. May you have the best continued career. They're looking like they're going to be in the play-in, Gavin. First year in Washington, wearing number 4 his college uniform from UCLA. Congratulations to Russell Westbrook on passing for the triple-double leader of all time. And he'll continue to grow that because he is a walking triple-double, literally.
Maybe as your graduation gift, I should buy you a Russell Westbrook T-shirt and make you wear it during that day.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not a big fan because of the Embiid and him issues and coming up short, but that's also the same reason I don't love Harden or some of the other guys like Kyrie with his time in Boston. It's not anything personal, but you can't deny his grit. You can't deny a lot of the effort he's put in. People have said he's similar to Michael Jordan and that Mamba mentality. People see it in him today, and unfortunately, just a ring shy to really have that legacy to go out there. But they've had playoff success with him.
Russ is a dog. Russ is a dog. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Zach, he has 182 triple-doubles since his MVP season, which is 2017. Zach, let me count that. 2017. It's been four or 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, don't correct the math on that. Right? I did that off the top of my head. But Zach, that's phenomenal. And he averaged a triple-double in every one of those years. And I'll go on a limb and say that if Russell Westbrook of now and Kevin Durant of Golden State and maybe a little bit of now and James Harden of now more passive, that Thunder's team would be numerous champions. And we wouldn't even be talking about Houston or Golden State as we normally do. Even though I think Golden State would have been Golden State. But just imagine if they were still together. Zach, I hope at one point before they all retire, they could just get one more look at them all together again. Because you're going to sit there and tell your grandkids, like, yes, this was a team that happened. Yes, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden were once all in the team at the same time. Not a lot of people believe it, but it's the truth.
Maybe a Kyrie for Russ trade in the future. Not going to happen, but that's your closest chance you'd get to seeing them all together again. It's interesting. Westbrook has had himself an interesting career, but I did think that it was good to start the show, giving him an applause and congratulating him on his success.
The greatest.
With that being said, we will stick to basketball. LeBron James was supposed to return tonight. He will not be returning. The Los Angeles Lakers host the New York Knicks. I believe they might be in New York, actually. But, yeah, LeBron James missing a game tonight. Just taking a look at the standings here. I'm going to pull them up in the Western Conference. They really can't afford to be missing LeBron James right now. They are 11 and a half games back of the Jazz and just 3.5 back in front of the Warriors and a game and a half back of the Trailblazers. They are in play-in territory right now, Gavin.
They're in play-in territory, and Zach, they're going against that bad man, Steph Curry. Zach, look at it. If Steph Curry has a night where he was against the Philadelphia 76ers, Zach, our beloved Sixers, where no matter what you do, every shot hits, the Lakers are done so. They're done. Zach, your friend is going to be gone, which would make me even smile. Zach, I have a smile so big, my lips might bleed in front of the camera. That's how big my smile is going to be. Having said that, Zach, look, if there's a time where LeBron James has looked defeated, and this is arguably one of his worst injuries ever since back in high school where he broke his wrist, Zach, it's not looking good because, once again, Zach, I'm not expertise on this. I'm not a doctor or any way. And real quick, Zach, I just want to give a quick shout out to Anthony for getting his doctorate degree from Duke.
Well,
congratulations to you.
He also gave you some love on the story today, I do have to say.
Let's not talk about that.
I'm waiting for that too. I better get a nice little package with Gavin's.
Listen. I'll get, if I have some extra, I'll get you one out there, so I'll bring it to you. I'll hand deliver to you. Back to the, I'm not an expertise on high ankle sprays, Zach, but I think we were talking about when we went out to lunch. That doesn't just go away. And that's actually months upon months of just sitting there. You can't put any weight on it. And if you're not 100%, you're not LeBron James, who can't do what he normally does, which is cause offensive fouls and push his shoulder into people and dunk. What are you good for? And a lot of those stuff that he did before, since his injury came back, was a lot of effortless. He looked tired. He looked defeated. Zach, I am happy today, not because of the injury, but because there's a chance where we won't see LeBron James in the playoffs, and he won't even make it to the playoffs. And you know what that means? We'll have to have that GOAT debate argument again.
LeBron James is 36 years old, Gavin.
Okay, Michael Jordan was 36, 35 when he won his championship. So what's your point?
He's playing at a top-tier level.
No, he's not.
And has had one injury this year. People thought he was done 2 years ago, and that Lakers team was hopeless. People say he went out to make movies, not win championships.
He did.
He won a ring last year. LeBron James is older. He is hurt. He'll be back for the playoffs. I don't know how long he'll be able to play for. Do I think the Lakers are a favorite in the West right now? No. They're the 7th seed.
Who's your favorite?
Golden State. My favorite right now is the Clippers. The Clippers are the only team I see coming out of the West right now. I don't trust the Suns. I don't trust the Jazz. I don't trust the Nuggets without Jamal Murray, unfortunately, but I do trust the Clippers right now. I'm putting my faith in playoff P. Wish me help. Check up on me.
He doesn't deserve that nickname, Zach.
Check up on make sure I'm doing all right. But look, I'll be honest here. This Lakers team is the best team when they're healthy in the West. I will put that up against any roster in the Western Conference. Here's the problem, though. They're not healthy. They have guys in and out of the last few weeks with COVID protocols. Anthony Davis has been in and out of the lineup, and LeBron James has been in and out of the lineup. Even with Anthony Davis back, Kevin, the Lakers are nowhere near as good as they are when LeBron James is in there, which, if anything, really would prove my point more, that he is the most valuable player to the Lakers. You said last year after Anthony Davis's buzzer beater against Denver that Davis was more important. Davis might be the better player at the moment because of he's younger, he's more healthy, he has more skills, but LeBron James is the glue to that team. Let's be honest here. This team is not going anywhere this year. I hate to say shut LeBron down, but he's 36 years old. You're getting pretty close to wanting to look that way. But again, being the 7th seed, you're still in it. You still have a good chance. After the first round, I don't know if it's going to be pretty for the Lakers. LeBron could come back and prove us all wrong, but I do have my doubts as much as a LeBron defender, not a fan, not a super fan of LeBron James, or as Gavin calls me, the CEO.
You got the pom-pom somewhere. I'm going to find him in your house. I'm going to find him in his house, and I'll bring him on camera.
But I am saying this. I am saying for his health, they might want to continue looking the other way. I have no confidence right now in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Why would you do that? That's not even that. We're talking about the Sixers. The Sixers are a team. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep it short and sweet like this. Sit him down, sure. But that's going to make people like me and Stephen A. and Skip Bayless and all those guys.
Yeah, but he never does load management the way Kawhi does it. Or
No.
San Antonio.
I'll give you Kawhi Leonard's worse, right? Kawhi Leonard is worse because he takes a lot of games off. But LeBron James arguably is just as bad as well to a certain point.
36 years old, Gavin. He's not
exactly. When load management first came a thing, he was doing it too. Don't make me pull up a YouTube video where a YouTuber and a guy on Oprah's side goes to a game where LeBron doesn't play and he's sitting there having a coffee, fully healthy. When you pay so much money to go see it, and that's my problem with load management. Zach,
it's not a common habit for LeBron James, though.
Zach,
LeBron takes pride in playing every game.
I'm gonna find a stat about LeBron James.
I wouldn't with LeBron James. I would not attack his character at that perspective when it comes to his desire to be load managed. He doesn't do that. When you're paying, Gavin, if anything, he's not going to be healthy for the playoffs because he doesn't load manage. He's facing the consequences of taking the pride in playing all the games versus Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Joel Embiid, all these guys who don't play day in and day out, who are protected by their franchises, and they're sat down a lot. DeMar DeRozan and all the San Antonio Spurs back in the day who did load management. I would not sit here today and go down LeBron James' throat for his refusal to do load management. If anything, it gives him respect. He is not one to commonly do that. And your buddy Kevin Durant's missed like 80% of the year too, so I don't want to hear it.
Throwing shots at KD. Well, listen, contact tracing is
honestly.
Look, contact tracing and Kevin Durant had a real injury. Maybe not that. Maybe not the one with the needed calf. I'll give you that one.
There were some questionable things for him being out this year.
But back to backs, and when you talk about Joel Embiid's 7'10". All right, we know why Joel Embiid doesn't go back to back. He can barely play the one night.
And that's fine. Embiid's healthy right now. LeBron James isn't. If anything, LeBron has a right to sit down, but he doesn't.
Right now, yes.
For a lot of players, it's disrespectful. Not the little games. Not the little games where you do load management after a back-to-back. If the Sixers play Denver one night and play Cleveland the next night, who cares if Joel Embiid sits? But if you're on national TV and you're playing top-tier games, there have been games this year where the Clippers duo have missed them for load management. Top-tier games we're talking here.
LeBron James has tested the load management way of skipping games during the season. I just read that right there to you. We can come on here tomorrow. We can argue load management. I'm not getting on LeBron James about load management. If he wants to sit down this year, fine. Sit down this year because you have to have a real reason to. But my problems are with when he is healthy.
But that's not a common habit of his. That's a habit.
It's a common habit. Zach, we've seen it before. But throw your pom-poms out for a second. Put the NBA fan on. As a whole, put the fan on.
I'm listening.
Put it on and think about it. LeBron James has load managed before. He is not the king of load management. That's Kawhi Leonard. Zach, I acknowledge that.
You got all of his games. You want to hear all of his games he's played since 2003? Every season, 79. He missed 3. I'm not going to say for all of them. We know it's an 82-game season in most years, except for 2011 and 2020, of course. 79, 80, 79, 78, 75, 81, 76, 79, 62. That was a lockdown season. 76, 77, 69, 76, 74, 82, and then 2018, 55, shut down early. 2019, 67, COVID year, 22, which is right now he's presently sitting at 43. Now, if you look at a guy like Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard, it's going to be much different. A lot of Kevin Durant's early years, similar to LeBron, played a lot. But let's take a look at his past few seasons.
Zach,
31 this year.
Explain to me 2014.
78, which is good.
Lockdown, right? You said 2014 was lockdown, right?
2011.
Okay, well, explain to me 2014 then.
How many games did he play?
69.
That's 13 games. That's one season. We have to talk about – you want to talk about who's the king of load management? I have Kawhi Leonard right here. Ready? 50, 57, 60, 9, 74, 72, 64, 66, 58, 64. That's backwards. That, if you want to have a conversation about load management, it's Kawhi Leonard.
I'm acknowledging. I'm telling
not bring LeBron James into the same conversation for load management as we do for Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, so yeah, Kawhi Leonard will miss 30 to 40 games with load management. I get that, but let's not sit here and say that LeBron James doesn't miss games off load management either. The last season he played 82 games was 2017. Give or take, they shut him down the first year in LA. I understand that. I mean, the team sucked, and you were battling a great injury. That's fine. Shut him down. 2019. What's the excuse there?
2019, he was battling all sorts of injuries all year, and they knew they were out of the playoffs. They shut him down.
No, that was his first year in LA. 2019.
2019 was a COVID-shortened season.
And then we're here. So I get it.
We're here in this year where he's missing a lot of games. But the fact
he's been in the league. Listen,
this is year 19, right? Or is it year 18? One of those two. Year 18, 2003, the year we were born. Year 18. The fact that this is a topic of discussion shows that how long he's been playing, number one, and how he plays so many games each year.
Does he want a cookie, Zach? Because it seems like you're.
He's not asking for it.
I will walk downstairs and
bring up load management for him. And Kawhi Leonard is the king of load management, not LeBron James. LeBron James is suffering injuries. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But you compare him to the other. Kawhi Leonard want to know why he'll never be in the GOAT conversation. The way that Michael, Kobe, and LeBron, they don't miss significantly.
Zach, I think you're missing. I think you're missing my argument here. I understand Kawhi Leonard is the king of load management. All right, I get that. Him and anyone that played for the San Antonio Spurs, and Kevin Durant. I won't say Kevin Durant's load management the king, but he misses a lot of time. And you got Joel Embiid. I mean, damn, Zach. When was the last time we saw Joel Embiid play back to back and consistent back to backs, not back to back to back to back? But if there was two back-to-backs in a row, he doesn't play both back-to-backs. There'll be 1 week where he might. I mean, but damn, what I'm trying to say to you is this. LeBron James has sat down before for games just not to play. He has. Everybody has done it.
Everyone has. So there's no reason to bring it up if everybody's done it. It's an equal playing field.
If you want to talk about this year, I give him a pass for this year. This year wasn't looking good. But back to the Go ahead, say that again.
I don't know what we're arguing here then. Just because you don't like LeBron James doesn't mean you got to nitpick it every little time he has sat out just because his biggest fan spent a lot of money to come to the game.
I mean, if you're sitting out healthy, don't you? Zach,
it's a very significant rarity for LeBron James. Number one.
Zach, it wasn't.
We both disagree.
It's significant now, but before it wasn't.
He's not healthy right now. He's not healthy right now. This is not load management. This is not blatant.
I know. I said before, like. Back in Cleveland, right? Because I'll give it to you. In LA,
he played 78. He played 78 plus games in his 4 years in Cleveland after he came back.
But in LA, there was games where we was in Cleveland and he was in Miami where I remember him not playing. I remember him not playing because Zach, I told you, rest, load management, whatever.
I'll wait for you to put the specifics on that before I respond to that.
Say again.
I'll wait for the specifics on that. I'm not going to take your word.
We can argue. Listen, we can argue load management. I want to look, Zach. I'm not going to spend my whole entire time arguing load management because I got to talk about Tim Tebow at some point because that makes me mad too.
Speaking of that, though, we will be proceeding now going into the Sixers again tonight. A chance to clinch the 1 seed. They visit the Indiana Pacers. It's going to be an exciting game tonight. We'll break that down, some of the pregame information, and then, as Gavin pointed out, Tim Tebow stepping over lines and finding a way to get an NFL contract.
Damn true.
We'll talk about that after this.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
Let's break it down. The Sixers, after Ben Simmons went down, dropped 5 straight. They were 2.5 games out of the 1 seed, and the Nets were getting healthy. Since then, the Sixers have ripped off 8 straight. The Nets have lost 4 of their last 6, and now the Sixers definitively have taken care of the 1 seed. How definitive are we talking? They control their own destiny. You win 1 game tonight in Indiana, a team that they have taken care of all year long, even without Joel Embiid, and he's questioned with an illness right now. Speaking of load management, possibly, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. A win tonight puts them 3.5 over Brooklyn with 3 games to go, and they own the tiebreaker, mathematically making them the 1 seed. They have not been the 1 seed, Gavin, in our lifetimes. 20 years ago, the answer, Allen Iverson, led this team to the 1 seed. They unfortunately lost in the NBA Finals, but made it there. Sixers are exciting right now. Extend that winning streak to 9 games tonight with a win. 48-21 on the season. Rest your guys for the last 3 games of the year. Sounds like a pretty good bet to me.
Zach, remember when the Sixers dropped 5 straight, and in the middle of that losing streak, I came on this show and said, Joel Embiid might be the MVP, but Ben Simmons is the most valuable player down the stretch. And we're seeing why. The late defensive plays, the last little itty-bitty things that he does. I mean, Zach, go back to San Antonio with a little tip-in to win the game. And the little defensive effort he brings, him and Matisse Thybulle.
Who's been insane, by the way, Matisse
Thybulle. Insane. Offensively, can use some work, but defensively is there. I had no problem. This is the Sixers' game to lose, and Zach, I'll put him deeper than that. It's the Sixers that get in their own way, and from this point out, it's your willingness to stay healthy. Zach, you win tonight, sit everybody down for the next 3 games. Curry, Tobias, Ben, and Joel. Sit them all down. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them until it's time. You get a week break, I want to say, Zach, because of the play-in tournament, right? Or a couple of days break, and then
close to it.
Close to it.
And you'll get a tired-ish team coming into you.
And Zach, if the standings hold how it is with Brooklyn at 2 and Milwaukee at 3, you get a chance to play the Milwaukee Bucks in the second round.
Well, actually, no, it'd be 1 because remember it was different.
Oh, they switched it. They switched it this year.
It would be the New York Knicks if the Knicks win their first round. If the top 4 seeds respectively beat the bottom 4, it'd be Sixers, Knicks, and then Nets and Bucks. And then the winners from those would play each other in the conference.
Oh, so they're doing it like football now. I think of the old format. Or my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Zach, if the New York Knicks, and I say this, and I'm pulling for them big time tonight, Zach.
They just beat the Clippers, all right? Slow down.
But listen, if the New York Knicks can win tonight versus the Lakers, okay, first of all, I'll come on this show tomorrow, and I'll rave about the New York Knicks, something I never do. But Zach,
some more apologies.
But think about it. If the New York Knicks, maybe more apologies, but if New York Knicks can beat the Hawks and the Sixers can beat whoever the 8th seed is, which I would most likely think it's the Hornets because of the loss of Jaylen Brown now, or whoever's going to be the 8 or 9 or 8 or 7, you can go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and all you had to do is face the winner of Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. You couldn't ask anything better than that. I mean, please, Zach, think about it. Every year the Sixers
they could probably sweep the first 2 rounds. Not to get ahead of myself here.
Okay, calm down for a second. Let's be realistic.
If you play Charlotte and you play the Knicks, no more than 2 losses between those 2 series. 2 or 3 losses. Okay. They should be stress-free series.
And then all you have to do is just get to Milwaukee or Brooklyn, which I think if James Harden comes back, it will be Brooklyn. Zach, and the way how your defense has been playing all year long, and they don't have a center, and Blake Griffin's knees don't work. They're just as good as mine, Zach, which aren't that great either. You could go to the finals and look at the Western Conference, where the Lakers are down right now, and Zach, and you're pleading for help and mercy, and you're praying every night for LeBron James to heal up, where we know Utah Jazz is going to fold. We know Luka Doncic is 1 technical away from getting ejected. By the way, you don't blow somebody, Luka. You got to learn better. And all you got to do is face the Clippers and the Zach in the 7-game series. I take the Sixers in 5 versus the Clippers, or in 7.
There's no team in this league that has anyone that can stop Joel Embiid.
There's only one team that I fear.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee or Brooklyn to a certain point.
Either one. The Eastern Conference Final is going to be your toughest battle. But if you win the first two pretty stress-free, you'll be pretty relaxed.
But I don't want them to be too careless. I want them to know what urgency.
They got to dominate those games, and they got to win them, and then they get rest. You win in 5 games, and Brooklyn and Milwaukee are playing to 6 or 7, you get a really strong chance to get a tired team while you're rested.
Zach, there is a major chance that in July, a little bit after my birthday, it might be a party, it might be a virtual party, wherever the world is at this time, we don't know. But I'll be vaccinated by this time. There is a possibility we could be partying down Broad Street. There could be. And talk about a process. Talk about all it takes to the front office and the players win championships. Jerry Krause, as much you don't like the guy, Zach, is the truth. Front office and win championships just as much as the team does. Because it takes two. It takes two to make a thing go right.
I agree on one thing I want to say before we do get to our next topic. Ben Simmons in this 8-game stretch, 12 points, 8 points, 18 points, 5 points, 15 points, 10 points, 8 points. However, this is the number that matters. 6 for 8, 4 for 5, 8 for 10, 2 for 6, 6 for 7, 5 for 8, 4 for 8. His efficiency is through the roof. Doesn't need to score a lot. But he needs to know when he has to. If Embiid does his Embiid things, if the rest of the role players do their thing, and if Simmons can show up when he needs to, this team's in a good spot. And please, for the love of God, I think Tyrese Maxey has earned his minutes. He looks so good out there. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
22 the other night, the last time he played. Look, I love Tyrese Maxey and the fact that we were going to give him away. And I told you, Zach, when the whole James Harden saga was going down.
It would have been him, Matisse Thybulle, and Ben Simmons.
And Zach, what was the first I said? I'm not giving up Maxey. I'm not giving up. You need to start building your bench at some point. You have to.
Shake up George Hill, Tyrese Maxey, Dwight Howard.
And Zach, what makes a good championship team? Let's go back to the Warriors when they first won the championship. Besides Steph Curry shooting the brains out of the ball and Draymond Green being able to shoot, they had
on the bench.
That too. They had Barbosa, they had Livingston, they had Maurice Space, they had
Andre Iguodala.
They had all those guys coming to the bench that was giving them buckets when needed to. At any point in time, you have to be a bench. Go back to Toronto. Zach, Fred VanVleet, the Drake of NBA, was dropping buckets in the playoffs. When you have a guy like Kyle Lowry, you can't be just a star, is what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. You have to have others to win. That's why teams like Milwaukee fail. That's why teams like the Clippers failed last year because no one else could help, and Paul George was sitting backboard. Zach,
they failed last year because they didn't take Game 6 seriously, and their superstars didn't do well in Game 7.
I mean, you're right. There's no other way to put it. But Zach, it's the Sixers playoffs to lose, really.
I wish I could say that. Brooklyn's very talented, but I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Brooklyn's the favorite.
I see the first 2 rounds.
Brooklyn's the favorite, but the Sixers had the easiest path.
They needed it. You needed that.
If the Bucks can knock out the Brooklyn, which has not happened, but if the Bucks can knock out the Nets, all you got to do is to stop Giannis from scoring and make Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton beat you. More Chris Middleton because he never shows in the playoffs. And Zach, you're going to the finals. But it won't be
the easiest path to do it. That's why the 1 seed was so important. I vouched for it. I'm glad they are looking like they're going to get it. A win tonight guarantees it. I'll play everybody tonight. I would try hard tonight. Rest them for the rest of the season. With that being said, coming up after this, Tim Tebow.
Is this a joke?
Tight end.
This got to be a joke. Oh, my gosh. Go ahead.
Stay tuned.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom-designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewer's choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
Tim Tebow has made headlines before for interesting reasons. Not a bad guy, not bad character, not a bad person.
Emphasize that, Zach, because I think this is what's going to get mistaken when I start talking.
A very good person, religious, faithful, had a couple opportunities in the NFL, did well at Florida with Urban Meyer. That was an interesting team that won the national championship, to say the least. Went play baseball with the Mets for a few years, and now is back in football. This is my opinion. I'll keep it straight and simple. I know Gavin's opinion is a little stronger than mine. Cool. Go prove it. There's some guys begging for opportunities who can't get it. You come in and you know people. That's the privilege of networking. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But go prove that you're worth it. You refused to play tight end when you were younger, when your arm wasn't good enough, according to a lot of scouts. Couldn't prove the doubters wrong. You won playoff win in Denver. But go out there and prove it. Make your name known. Go work. Go be a good player in Jacksonville. It's already ruffling feathers in the front office. It's whatever. I don't care. It's not a headline in my opinion. It's just a fourth-string tight end
not a headline
on a pretty shitty team. But that's my opinion. Not much to think of this.
Tim Tebow's a nice guy. And let me emphasize that. If you listen to ESPN, you're going to say he's an amazing human being. Zach, as you pointed out, very religious. Zach, something that you made right now, he's actually into the Best Buddies, Buddy Ball. He works around that area. Great college analyst. Horrible football player. And the average baseball player. Zach, we just ran over his numbers. His best season in baseball was 273, and that was in Double-A. And when he was in the Triple-A, one below the majors, ladies and gentlemen, he played like hot trash. He had over 200 at bats on 29 hits, batting 168. Okay, so why does I bring it up? All right, so let me backtrack. Right, Tim Tebow wins 2 national championships at Florida. I don't know how. After you listen to his NFL record, you wonder who the hell did they play in college. Tim Tebow gets drafted to the Denver Broncos. Correct me if I'm wrong. In his first year, he played, I want to say, 3 games started and goes 1 for 2. Completed 41 passes out of 82 attempts, 50% completion in 3 games, 654 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. All right. Next year, he starts 11 games, 7-4, 46 completion, 1,700 yards, and 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. When they asked you to play tight end back before, you didn't want to. So now you want to play tight end. And then Zach, and then we know the history of Tim Tebow. Goes somewhere else, goes to New York, doesn't do much there, and Zach goes to the Phillies, doesn't get cut, and just keeps getting cut. You go to TV, right? You're working for ESPN. You're doing college analyst. Zach, he's doing a great job there.
Making good money doing it.
Oh wait, never mind, Zach. I want to go play baseball. All right, so guess what? Because you're a celebrity and your privilege got you to play baseball, you played baseball. And you were all right. I mean, Zach, he had a couple of nice years, a couple of bad years. All right. Now then you go back to networking. You're doing great at college football. You're analyzing, doing a great job. Zach, I actually liked him as an analyst. This is what's rubbing me the wrong way. He goes back to the NFL as a tight end. You're 33 years old. You'll be 34 before the season starts. You haven't taken a hit in the last 9 years.
That's about a year and a half, 2 years older than Rob Gronkowski, by the way.
And you haven't taken a hit in 9 years. Zach, let's point on. As Shannon Sharp pointed out, and because Shannon Sharp takes the tight end position really seriously. Zach, in my opinion, the greatest tight end I ever seen, I ever got to watch highlights on. And no disrespect to any other tight ends out there. He said it, Skip. Can he get down on his hand and put his hand in the dirt and block, 200 plus pound linemen every play? Can he run routes? Can he do that consistently? No. He's fragile. He looks fragile. I'm not trying to be rude to the guy. But Zach, you're also taking away opportunities from someone else that dedicated their whole career to being a tight end. Zach, even though the tight end that they have on the roster right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, is not the greatest, But darn it, Zach, that's a chance for him to develop, and you're taking the opportunity away from him for some publicity stunt. And my other takeaway is this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to ruffle some feathers, Zach. This is what I wanted to tell you off stage. After the summer we just had, with everything going on, it spilled over to as of late as well. Tim Tebow got a damn job before Colin Kaepernick got one. And here's my problem with that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Colin Kaepernick, the last time he was in the league, he didn't look great as a starter. He doesn't have to be a starter anymore. But at least we've seen him throw, do workouts, do some things, practice. We've seen him. When was the last time I seen Tim Tebow throw a damn ball? When has Timothy Richard Tebow, Zach, that's his full name, ever ran a route? We don't know. Zach, the only route he ever ran, and it was a sweep. It was one of those reverses that Mark Sanchez threw to Tim Tebow, and he got scared because someone was right behind him. Didn't even attempt to make a play on the ball. So you're telling me he's going to play tight end? Come on. And if you think this guy deserves to be in the league, you got another thing coming. At least Colin Kaepernick was before the coaches changed with I forget the coach's name when they went I think it was 3-13 or 4-12. At least with Chip Kelly, he at least went to a Super Bowl. He at least went to a couple playoff games. Zach would have been 2 Super Bowls if he doesn't throw that pass to Crabtree and Sherman, and we know how that goes, Zach. But that guy, the guy that took a knee for something that is, Zach, if you look later now, looks to be a really big issue and is a major issue after the summer we just had, after we've seen him do countless workouts here and there. And Zach, I get it, the whole workout thing with the waiver and everything, that thing. But Zach, what I'm trying to say is this. I've seen videos of Colin Kaepernick throwing the football. I've seen videos of Colin Kaepernick working out with other stars. I've seen Colin Kaepernick do more than what Tim Tebow's done, but yet Tim Tebow has a job at a position he didn't even play for. What the hell does that tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen? What does that tell y'all? One, Urban Meyer should be fired after this first year because he's not doing anything to help the situation. You have a rookie quarterback, right? A rookie quarterback who you have to figure out if he's going to be even good in this league. Time to start the rebuild process. Time to start. You hit the restart button. Now you got to start winning games or start working to see what you have at quarterback. Not only that, you have a rookie head coach who, by the way, Zach, he tried to bring in some strength and positioning coach who had no damn business sniffing the NFL playing field at all. And luckily the media got that guy fired after his racist remarks in college. By the way, I kind of wish he stayed in the NFL because I wish he would have pulled that stuff they did in college because I'm grown man would have whooped this behind. Having said that, Zach, I'm furious. One, because Tim Tebow got handed a job at a position that he never even played before. Two, there's people that he's taking opportunities away from. And three, he's got a job before someone that we've seen work out time from here and there. That's where I stand with Tim Tebow. That's unfortunate. He's a nice guy, but doesn't deserve this damn opportunity.
Will your stance change if he plays well?
Hell no.
It won't.
It won't. It won't change. Because, Zach, he won't make the roster. Now you have a position coach have to teach the guy the damn position because why, Zach? Because he never tried it before. When they asked him, Zach, if he would have played tight end back in the day, he would still be in the league to this day. Where we would look at this and say, well, you know what? He played this position before. Okay, this makes sense. Because your buddies with your and this is what things that irritates me the most. Connections run deep in America, Zach, and especially in corporate America. Whether and Zach, in the field I'm running into, connections run deep. It's how far your arms reach and how far their arms reach. Zach, it's no more just start from the groundwork. It's no more start from the foundation, Zach. Because he won national titles with Urban Meyer, he gets another chance at the NFL, and we never see him at tight end before.
Interesting stance. Again, my opinion on it's kind of, I understand your perspective on all three of those, and I agree with most of them. It's the connections. It's the connection privilege that he has, and I guess time will tell. We'll see if he can make the roster or not. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're not good at your job, you don't keep it.
I mean, damn, can we stick with one thing too?
Even Adam Gase got fired this year. Trust me, if you're bad at your job, you will not be able to keep it. But no, that's just an interesting case and more publicity.
Elton Brand had his job for 2 years. Zach, 2 years, right?
Well, he still technically has it.
Okay, but he doesn't call the shots somewhere.
Daryl Morey.
He had his job for 2 years, that position for 2 years. Brings in Jimmy Butler, brings in Tobias Harris, Boban Marjanovic, and sadly the team was bouncing the travel away from going to the Eastern Conference Final. Next year, loses majority of those guys, but brings in Al Horford, Zach. We saw how that worked. And guess what? After 2 years, Daryl Morey's now here calling the shots. Don't know where Elton Brand is. Another situation. You talk about a guy in I want to say in Houston, and Bill O'Brien, who had success, or excuse me, not Bill O'Brien, go to Adam Gase. Adam Gase was bad at his job. The fact that he kept his job for one that long, and Zach, I never seen you more amped up about anything more than his life in your life when it came to another team other than ours. He kept his job for long, but we knew he was bad. He got fired. The only difference is we knew Adam Gase could coach at some point. Sometimes. He wasn't good at it, but he could do it.
Zach, well, he was a good OC with Denver, good offensive coordinator.
Okay, good offensive coordinator, decent time in Miami, and then we saw the Jets were. But Zach, what I'm trying to say is this. He was a coach. He was an offensive coordinator, right? At some point, worked his way up. We saw Eric Bieniemy can't even get a damn job, and we see he's number one in the past three to 4 years, seeing offensive yards and points and everything. And regardless of people around him, but Zach, will Pat Mahomes be Pat Mahomes without that system? No. But yet, Tim Tebow, after talk about Trevor Lawrence for the past 2 years, after swinging a bat for the past 3 years, and hasn't taken a hit in the last 9 years, can get a job at a tight end. Meanwhile, guys like Randy Moss's son had to go undrafted and get signed. Like, it's the stuff like that that doesn't make sense to me. The media wanted to blast how Steve Nash got a coaching job before Mark Jackson or anybody else, right? But the reason why I didn't have a problem with Steve Nash getting a job, because Steve Nash was pretty smart at the game, and the 2 stars signed off on it. You have a head coach who thinks he's the head man in the organization that can bring on whoever he wants at any time and not have consequences. Zach, this isn't Ohio State where he's not the head guy there, where he says goes. Last time I checked, there's a general manager, there's another manager, owner, and then there's the team, and there's some other players and coaches around. And yet you're bringing people on willy-nilly, like if you run the guy, like you run the organization. You don't, Urban Meyer. Who the hell are you to even call these shots? Who are you? You got to win a game first in the NFL. Last time I checked, your NFL experience wasn't as good, and I don't think you running that to be great in to begin with. Well, all I'm trying to say is this. Urban Meyer will be fired after 1 year because of all these publicity stunts. You're taking away from the fact that you have a rookie quarterback, because all we're going to be talking about is how damn Tim Tebow is playing. He won't make the roster, Zach. And what are you going to do now? You're not going to make the roster. You're going to sit here and now you got to develop another tight end. But the tight ends coach is probably pissed because he has to teach a guy that doesn't know anything about it. But no. It's connections. That's right. It doesn't matter. Zach, if my connections ran deep, I could become the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow, regardless of what my record is. Zach, I can pass gas and I'll be the owner of the team because that's how far my connections run. I mean, come on. It's unacceptable. You have brothers and sisters, black and white, and we'll leave race out for a second. You have people that dedicate their whole entire careers to be a tight end. Shannon Sharp wanted to be wide receiver, tight end. You got guys that dedicated their careers to be a tight end or a receiver at some point, and this guy just walks in because he's friends with the head coach. Get the hell out of here. Let me try that, and I still wouldn't get the job.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's interesting, but prove me wrong, I guess, Tim Tebow. Prove us wrong that you're going to be able to go out there and do that. But, yeah, Urban Meyer, not the strongest start for him in Jacksonville. We'll see what that team can do this year.
After 1 year.
I like the direction the Jets are going better than the Jags. That's just my opinion. With that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching us. Some breaking news coming out now. Joel Embiid will be out tonight with an illness. Furkan Korkmaz also remains out. Matisse Thybulle is questionable, but the rest of the starting 5 appear to be intact. I expect a win tonight. Gavin, anything else from you before we wrap up today?
A win, Zach. We're going to come on here tomorrow, the next day, and talk about how the Sixers are the 1 seed in the East and get ready for playoffs. And hopefully the New York Knicks can pull a win, and that would make me happy for once in my life. And Zach, finally, this Tim Tebow, this is a damn joke, and I hope it's a joke. And I hope they really don't sign the guy. Go back to being an analyst. Talk about the game. don't be part of the game. Thank
Quite possibly interesting turn of events, but we'll keep track of that. NFL schedules come out in 4 days from now. The Oakland Athletics might be moving to Vegas. That's a conversation for a later time as that story develops. We have a lot of fun upcoming events coming up here on the show. We look forward to continuing to break it all down for you. With that being said, thank you all for joining us today, and we'll be back plenty of times this week. Thank you so much, and have a great, great day.
Have a good one, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching.